there's our meals. You can see. Oh, maybe you can't because it's all shadowy. All right, we're going to talk about Columbo, and we have quite a few seasons here to go through. And James has brought out a stack of books, so we'll see how that goes. And you can see James's green smoothie over there. That's green because of spirulina. The magic of spirulina. So, this is my outfit for today. I'm wearing bikini.
Fantasy.
Very nice. Yeah. So it's we were out for a hot walk, and then luckily I brought the water along because I needed it. And
yeah, she anticipated it.
Definitely bikini weather today. So I'll put the camera close and kind of focused in on James because
I'll be doing most of the talking.
He'll be doing, yeah, well, pretty much all. I'll grab the Columbo stuff here, and I should mention that I just stacked them. I didn't, you'll see the third season's on the bottom, then fourth and fifth. That's, I really had no
preference in terms of one.
Preference or complaints.
Yeah, that's one of the things I like about the series. Like Pauline was asking me, did you prefer season 1 or season 2?
Yeah, I was trying that at first, and it was like, well, what's the point?
You know, they were kind of trying out some things when they first started out. His hair was shorter, so on and so forth. But I really can't detect it getting much better. But as far as I'm concerned, it's the best of the TV. With a possible exception of...
Yeah, police drama sort of thing.
Police drama. It's a little bit different from the usual detective fare, but the one where they did Hercule Poirot, looking even more like Hercule Poirot than Agatha Christie portrayed him, that one kind of stands out, but this is the best. It's awesome.
Great.
And I swear it's got some stuff to say about human... about how to judge humans. Don't judge a book by the cover. Don't judge a person by the crumpled up trench coat. Don't judge a person by how short, tall they are. The only way they could have made it better, I think, is if it had been a short woman. And didn't we see one where a woman was kind of like a bag lady?
I don't know. Well, yeah, sort of. But I
because
think
women,
they did it. I think they did it perfectly. I don't think they could have found anybody better than him.
Well, he's a very good actor. He's a
great.
Movie quality actor and stuff like that. I'm just talking about the big takeaway, because they're arrogant people so often looking down, and guys looking down on this wheezy little fella who's got weird, ways of, like going like this and stuff like that.
No, I think it's perfect the way it is. So
well, I'm just saying the women have generally been underestimated and stuff like that.
I will say that if you want to donate, if you have Columbo, the complete third season, please donate it to the Clare's Home Public Library. They need new discs. This, I did, it's not that this season deserves to be on the bottom of the stack or anything like that. It's just we had a hard time playing it on these discs. So, skipped really badly in there. Yeah. So at least we got to see the Johnny Cash episode, or I did.
Johnny Cash was it?
Yeah.
She did. I didn't see it.
But it played. But the rest, it is too bad. So, but I mean, they're old discs, and maybe they were played a lot before they got to this point. So
I don't think people in Clare's Home would be any more or less abusive when it came to treating discs. Any description or
and well, the fourth season, there's a couple of them here. The fourth season came from Clare's Home too, and it played. And the fifth season, this disc 1 came from Clare's Home, but disc 2 did not. It came from a different library. Which one did it come from? Vulcan.
Well, it's up in that general area.
So I don't know. I will say that I don't I remember somebody years ago, like I was talking about Columbo and how great it is that he talks about his wife all the time, but you never meet her. And somebody said, well, they did have Mrs. Columbo. And
They
I
knew
was
what
like,
they were
what are you
talking
talking about?
Yeah. I never heard about that.
I'd never heard of it. But there's some, keep an eye out if you're getting these discs out of the library, because there's some bonus, like on this complete 5th season, disc 1, bonus episode, Mrs. Columbo, caviar with everything. I actually really enjoyed that one.
They really aimed it at women back then, probably the majority of women now. Well, maybe not, but food, stuff like that.
And I didn't care for this one. This is the 4th season, disc 3, bonus episode, A Riddle for Puppets from Mrs. Columbo. So anyway, just to keep an eye out for those things. Because, yeah, apparently there was a Mrs. Columbo. And you got to meet her. And I don't actually, James likes the woman that they picked out for her and everything like that. I don't think so. I mean, Columbo, he talks about his wife having some problems with weight and stuff like that. And like he was talking to one, I think it was a diet coach or something, like somebody who ran a fat camp. And anyway, so this woman, Mrs. Columbo, that we see, she has no problems with weight. There was another episode, or maybe it was the same one, he was talking about eyebrow pencils, and his wife making lists with eyebrow pencils. And so he'd recognized it or whatever. It was it was a black eyebrow pencil. Well, his wife, the person that they got for Mrs. Columbo, well, she wouldn't have used a black eyebrow pencil.
It would have been.
Well, kind of
brown.
Brownish, yeah, auburn. So
nice hair color, but
yeah. So she was lovely and everything, and they got a daughter that I thought was pretty fun. But the only real connection between the two is the dog. He's in both, right?
The action shows.
Yeah, and honestly, I never would have done a Mrs. Columbo. I don't know why they did. James was like, "Oh, some people might like this. Some women might really identify with whatever." And
well, I don't know.
And maybe they would have at the time.
I've never heard about it. There's a reason why it might have lasted part of a season.
Yeah, like that's the thing, is you don't give the audience necessarily what they ask for, because you have some series where there's like Moonlighting. You have this, will they get together? Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd. And no, they should never get
Kiss
together,
of death.
right? And sure, if you ask the audience, oh yeah, it's bring them. No, you never do that. And Columbo, I'm sure that they maybe did some, ask the viewers if they would like Mrs. Columbo. Oh yeah, I want to see Mrs. Columbo. Why don't we ever see Mrs. Columbo? They might have got letters in.
Yeah.
He
keeps on talking about her.
It works because you don't ever meet her. You get little clues about, oh, she's like this. Oh, she's like this. Whatever. And but you don't meet her, and that's why it works. So. I hadn't thought about that, but that could easily have been it. See, it's one of the things I find most endearing about this series, because he talks about his wife a lot. Yeah, he does. He obviously
that means
loves
he
her.
thinks
He thinks about her wife. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's all I really had to say about them. I don't know what you want to say.
Well, I just fill in case people are a little skeptical. Let me give you a couple of illustrations of what Pauline's talking about. They do way too much of this in movies. They'll have screenings for audiences, target audiences.
Yeah.
And I've heard about...
They're making such a mess.
Well, the boys will eat it.
They'll love it.
That's not like onions. Don't feed dog onions and grapes or whatever all else. But at any rate, they will have test screenings for a sample audience, And I've heard about it, and I don't think it's a suburban or ex-urban myth. They will change the ending from a sad one to a happy one, because that's what the audience thinks that they want. And I was thinking about that, about the last time I heard about that, which was like maybe a little after 2000. And I was going to say what? Now I was
Gone with the Wind.
And what replaced it as the bestseller of all time? Do you know? Around 2000.
Titanic.
Titanic. And,
yeah, you're not going to make that happy.
You can't. You never can tell with Hollywood. But I think one of the reasons why, now I'm dealing with a small sample size, I'd prefer to have something 10 or over 11 or whatever it's supposed to be. And they say you don't really get a decent sample until it's up around 30. But I could at least see a connection there. And, you know, Gone with the Wind, you really can't change the ending if you're talking about the Civil War. You know, the South will rise again. Yeah, you can't change the ending. And people kept on going back. And why is one of the reasons? Well, I think it's because down deep, just
subconsciously.
Change! You know, like, change history. I want a happy ending for these folks. Yeah. It's funny how people are. So you don't necessarily want to give people what they think they want or state they want, whatever. Another example is politics. All sorts of people who going around saying, I don't like paying taxes. Then they get rid of taxes, and that's for the rich guys. So you'll get rich guys in the United States is back then. It's probably even worse now. 8%. I'm complaining about it. Too high. 8% tax. Income tax. Warren Buffett was on this documentary watching. He was complaining about his income tax. It's 13%. But he's an honest guy. He was saying it's too low. Too low. And, you know, the economy, when we look at the way the American economy has been run, in the case of the Democrats, this is in my lifetime, even before my lifetime, even before my older brother's lifetime, going back to 1947. The Democrats have been in the same amount of time, roughly, as the Republicans, and I believe it's now 10-1 in terms of recessions being induced by the respective parties. In other words, the Democrats are 10 times better, according to those stats, and understand it's getting to the point where it's statistically significant. Because now we've got 11, more than 10, 11 data points and stuff like that. It's just like, you know, like when Donald Trump was in the first time, I got out of the mutual funds, not really the stock market, before he was even in a year. Didn't trust the skunk, and sure enough, he was lucky not to have a stock market crash, really, but he had a different kind of economic downturn. It was due to COVID. A plague, a certain plague, sorry folks, sorry censors out there, a certain plague, and stuff like that. So that would have been in 2000. He had a recession. You folks that think everything that doesn't conduce to Donald Trump's glory, that ain't fake news. It's put out by right-wingers, bankers and stuff like that. You might not like bankers. I don't like them either, but understand they come from the same class as Donald Trump or whatever. Donald Trump, I think is his family's original name. I always thought of it as Donald Dumpf, because that's German for kind of like dull, although not necessarily in the I'm not really in the psychological sense. Dumpf. It might be related to damping or something like that, damping of sound. I don't know in English. Anyway, Donald Dumpf. Donald Trump. Anyway, what did I want to review? I kind of threatened I was going to review this. For Pauline, she saw it and I could see it was risking giving her a shudder of horror. because they've got some horrible roads.
I thought he was planning some trips for the summer, and it's like, oh, not again.
I got
Stick
this.
to the main highways in Saskatchewan.
I got this used, and it was just to see largely how many of these drives we'd already subjected ourselves to, or I had subjected Pauline to. La Ronge to the Churchill River. You've been to La Ronge, right? Mm-hmm. I've been to the Churchill River. Mm-hmm. I was young enough that I didn't feel it, you know what I'm saying? But the highway, I think it changes from Highway 2 beyond La Ronge, and it's probably pretty iffy for someone with any sort of trouble with their back. Prince Albert to La Ronge via Candle Lake and Nipekamu. And I've been from Prince Albert to La Ronge, so was Pauline when she was younger, but not via Candle Lake, and so I can't tell you what that's like. Prince Albert National Park and the Lakelands, so we've been to Prince Albert National Park, and we kind of came in on a bit of a back road.
Yeah, we did.
Mm-hmm.
I had no say in it.
Well, we had to go something like that because we actually came in through the...
We could have went the main highway.
We could have,
Takes you right there.
Yeah, but we wanted to go the length of it. We came in through the actual, by the park headquarters when we came in from the south.
Yeah, we did.
We got an amazing case of ticks, not tick fever. How many did we? Our dogs and us, we got 51 ticks off of everyone involved.
Which, how many ticks?
So many ticks. And the first path we took hadn't been mowed or whatever, and we got attacked by mosquitoes. It's so bad. My dad knew I'd had cancer for quite a while, but we were going down to Moose Jaw afterwards to visit my dad. I came in and I looked almost as bad as Opie Art. Very thin skin, no, thin fur, and he was, wow, he just got attacked. But it looked as though I had some sort of skin cancer or something like that all over my neck and so on and so forth. It looked hilarious. Believe me, it didn't feel hilarious at all.
We went to visit Kathy on the way back, not your dad at that time. We did?
Well, one time we visited my dad. I was worried about it. It was coming back maybe from Manitoba then. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we visited my dad there.
Yeah.
And I had a case of biting and stuff like that. Anyway, that was Riding Mountain. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Riding Mountain National Park. It's recommended.
And we had so many ticks in that one.
We did. We actually brought one back. So you folks that
rode in the car all the way.
There aren't ticks in Alberta. There were ticks in Alberta. They hitched a ride with us in the car, whatever. They made it all the way from across Saskatchewan, half of Alberta, and a little bit of Manitoba. And it's not as though we came right directly out of Riding Mountain Park. Remember we went south and we went through...
There are ticks in Alberta, though. We have them we picked up ticks in Waterton. We picked up ticks in...
Yeah, that's true.
Even Lethbridge.
Well, no, they're saying not up north in Grand Prairie. They'd be in Grand Prairie if people bought them in. I don't know how long they'd last. They'd last the summer, I presume.
They'd last the summer,
Anyway,
anyway.
yeah, they're not native to there, but I swear...
That's
those guys that went up to the moon, guys and one gal or whatever, they could have taken a tick out into outer space, and it would have done plenty fun for a while. Chowing down on them or whatever. So don't go around saying stupid things. Yeah, I was meaning Grand Prairie up there. So thanks for catching it. I just woke up. Let's see what else. Saskatoon to Prince Albert via Fish Creek Road. Well, I've been to Saskatoon to Prince Albert. The Fish Creek Road goes on the other side of the South Saskatchewan. You go on Highway 11, it's reasonably good. I think that's the way it goes. Anyway, something like that. What other ones have I done? Saskatoon to the Battlefords, south of the river. Well, I guess I've gone south of the river. We went north of the river too. Oh no, that's south of the river. That's the one that we did. I don't think Pauline liked that one very much.
And I don't
But
know if we picked up ticks in Prince Albert or whatever. What is it called?
Prince Albert Park?
Yeah, I don't think we did. A lot of
It might be.
mosquitoes.
Lots of mosquitoes. I was mixing it up maybe. So,
Yep.
yeah, I went by a place where my dad taught, a reserve that my dad taught. It was missed something or other. Anyway, it's by Leask in Saskatchewan, in case you've got your atlases out. Quill Lakes International Bird Area, went by there. That was with my dad. We went down Highway 6 from Prince Albert to Regina with my dad. He wanted to take the alternative route, not the Highway 11, and not even Highway 2. I remember with my dad, we went up Highway 2 once. The route was San Luis or St. Louis, I don't know what they call it. So there used to be a ridiculous bridge there. I gathered they're finally.
No. Sam?
Is that Sam there?
Yeah.
Hey, Sam. We're your friends. Yeah.
They're being-
Yeah. Oh, look at the other one. Very
No,
friendly.
Is that a Harley?
Yep.
Yeah, there we go. Hare Meadow is what his name means. Harley's an awesome looking dog, I'm telling you. Hey, Harley, are you a good dog? Of course you are.
Yeah, he's a
Being nice and quiet and friendly. Yeah. That's okay, Sam. We'll see you one of these days, and you'll see. I'll have a dog treat for you sometime. Anyway, Quill Lakes, awesome. Quill Lakes. There's well, the dogs inside aren't pleased about that.
Somehow they knew.
There's Greater Quill Lake or Lesser Quill Lake or bigger, smaller. And there's Fish Lake by it. Fishing Lake. Roads down to the Alberta border via Eagle Creek and the Great Wall. Well, I've been roads down to the Alberta border. I think it's called Alsace. It must be right on the border, Alberta and Saskatchewan. And but via Eagle Creek, I don't know. And the Great Wall. The Great Wall sounds like an interesting thing to see, but I don't know if I'd want to venture there. The Qu'Appelle Valley, Lumsden to Highway 6, and we've actually taken that, as I recall. That one was an experience for Pauline. And Pauline let me know about it, so it was an experience for me too. And I probably deserved to know about it. To Highway 6? Lumsden to Highway 6. Well, we didn't quite do that, but we went up past Lumsden. That was on Highway 20. And
I have no say in it.
Huh?
When he decides to go on this big route or whatever, we're just going that way.
Well, I'll mention we're going there. The thing is, it's an adventure because the thing that really was sobering
Stuck
was
in the car.
well, that was sobering was you can't trust maps. You know, I was coming through, and I was using one of those big maps where you've got you can actually see sections and stuff like that. It's not quite a topographic map, but you know, they call it back road atlases. And I was going to go on the the Northwest Mounted Police route or whatever. So it turns off, I think it's Sterling, Highway 61. It's a different Highway 61 revisited. A little, just north of Sterling, goes through places like Judson and Etsicom. I'm not giving them an order. Manny Berry's Foremost, stuff like that. Foremost had a bar that looked like an old Western bar or something like that. Did it have a little place where you hitch up horses outside? Pretty interesting. Anyway, once we got past Manny Berry's, I think it was, all of a sudden, the road that was, well, actually, it showed gravel. But then we hit Saskatchewan, and it showed paved road. Gravel, 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 gravel. It just was gravel for the longest time.
It was better when they milled up the paved road and it was just gravel.
I think actually what they'd done there was just gravel there. The worst we've ever been on is Highway 4. Now
Because the pavement was so full of potholes in like a lot of the other roads that
so,
it was treacherous.
Well, brutal really, yeah.
You had to go so slow just to make sure you didn't hit a pothole.
Well, the thing to do was to kind of do a weave around the potholes, but there's some places where you had to kind of choose the pothole that looked at least threatening. That's Highway 4. When you got a highway in a province where it's one digit, you expect a certain degree of reliability or something like that. So that was south of Highway 13. I forget the place where it the two intersect. I think it might be Cadillac or something like that. There are a few French names down there. We were going to Grasslands National Park in Saskatchewan. And there's an interesting French name there where they actually have the not quite the headquarters of the park, but Grasslands, but it's outside of the park. But it's where you go, the tourists, and where you go to pick up the pamphlets and stuff like that. And it's called Val Marie. And Brian Trottier, one of the greatest hockey players ever lace on skates in the world, not just Canada, came from that general area. I think his family ranched there. I think his story was that he was methi, if not officially, and there was half and half. I know I went to school with someone who came from that general area only east of the border, west of the border I should say. Half Blackfoot, half Irish. And her family ranched out in that general area. Maybe around Wild Horse, Alberta. How's that for a name? There's another fascinating name in that general area, 1-4. I think it's named after the township and range, or range and townships in that area. 1 and 4. I love that name, Wild Horse. Anyway, right down near the border, down not quite south of the border, and definitely not Mexico way. So, Saskatchewan Scenic Drives. It comes semi-recommended if you're interested in this sort of stuff. It's probably better if you've got, let's say, a 4x4, something that can go over some of the roads that are described here. And because, you know, they do have kind of like a spoiler alert for the roads, and they do kind of give you a warning, you know, like about the state of the roads. They don't just say they're on like some of the routes are tough. They also say, you know, they kind of change. And I swear, you know, you people in Saskatchewan, I don't know what's wrong with you. The NDP in Western Canada, provincial especially, they're very different from the national NDP. The national NDP's gone nuts recently. They're actually semi-responsible. The provincial NDP's the one in Alberta, for example, way better than the thing that followed it, this United, what do they call it, UPI, United UPS Party? Yeah. United Province of Alberta Party? I don't know what it's called. Anyway, could hardly care. Anyway, Danielle Smith is, I call her, and it might be